southern Aviation 45, the Emergency Rescue Squadron in the US Navy, used for rescuing down air in the North Sea.
Certainly more built than any other flying boat, more than 3,000 in North America and just over a score in Russia. It was produced in both flying boat and amphibious versions, and it was used in virtually all the theatres of operation in the Second World War and by all the Allied Air Forces and the US Navy. Used for anti-submarine warfare, coastal patrol, convoy escort and air-sea rescue. The Catalina, or PBY as it was known in the US Navy, was very closely involved in the attack on Pearl Harbor, the interception of the Japanese invasion force on its way to Ceylon, the discovery and shadowing of the Bismarck prior to its destruction, and the sinking of several dozen U-boats. Its crews claimed 2 of the 4 Victoria Cross medals awarded to Coastal Command crews, and after the war surplus Catalinas served with numerous military and commercial operators around the world and found new leases of life as forest fire water bombers, survey aircraft and, like this one here, air display stars. Got a great view of the boat-like keel of the underside of the aircraft there, because of course in the search and rescue role the aircraft would alight on the water next to the people it was meant going to rescue and then take off again. Today there are around 14 or 15 airworthy examples, and this one is perhaps the most active. She bears the markings of a Second World War aircraft that operated over the North Sea, and that was Miss Pickup. And she is the only Catalina flying regularly in Europe. Those 2 engines mounted on the high wing are there to try to keep salt water away from them when it was on the water. And this airframe is actually 78 years old now. She was built by Canadian Vickers in Quebec for the Royal Canadian Air Force in the autumn of 1943 as a Canso A, as the Canadians called the type. During the Second World War, their aircraft hunted enemy submarines patrolling day and night along the coast of Western Canada, and post-war it was used briefly as a freighter. Now you can see it's got the floats down on the wingtips. They were providing the wingtips a bit like on the SF-260 before, and they rotate down to act as floats when it's coming into a light on the water. Because you can't say land on the water, can you? You can't land on water. It's land or water, so you alight on the water. That's what I say anyway. In the 1990s, the aircraft was purchased for an African safari flight project and was fitted out with passenger seats and single-piece rear hull blisters, excellent for viewing, and a rear air star was also installed. And I've had the pleasure of actually flying in this aircraft, and you really do get a great view from those big blisters on the side of the rear fuselage. wildly flying never really got off the ground, and the Catalina ended up abandoned in a car park. And it was here that Plain Sailing located the airframe, and after a long search worldwide, decided it was the most suitable candidate for restoration for their use. 2 years of hard work was required to certify the cat before embarking on a month-long transit back to Duxford, going all the way down the western coast of the USA. The ferry flight across the Atlantic from St. John's in Newfoundland to Shannon lasted nearly 13 hours, with temperatures of minus 28 degrees C at times. But in March of 2004, she arrived at her new home base of Duxford. Now she's coming in with the undercarriage down in the landing configuration. The landing light is on, and those floats have been retracted back up to form the wingtips. Last autumn, Miss Pickup suffered an engine failure while filming on Scotland's Loch Ness. Unable to take off, she was rescued by the Loch Ness RNLI, and in due course she lifted off the water to a safe haven beside the loch. There an engine change was carried out in the open, and after several weeks she returned to Duxford. And Plain Sailing would like to thank all the organisations and individuals that assisted them in so many ways during that difficult period, including those who generously helped with donations through their GoFundMe appeal. Well, the original Miss Pickup was based at Halesworth in Suffolk in 1945 and flown by the 5th Emergency Rescue Squadron within the US 8th Air Force and used for rescuing downed aircrew in the North Sea. The racy Miss Pickup nose art is based on some original World War II photos that came to light in 2011, and the name is an obvious play on words for a lovely lady and a rescue aircraft. Sadly, the original Miss Pickup was lost in the North Sea during an attempt to rescue a downed P-51 Mustang pilot. Due to engine problems, that Catalina could not take off, and after drifting all night, it was shot up and sunk by a Luftwaffe Edit 262 jet. The two 1200 horsepower Pratt & Whitney radials power the aircraft and give it a maximum speed of 179 miles an hour. Now in from the right for her final pass, our final full-size aircraft of the day, and in fact of the Midlands Air Festival. So let's give Miss Pickup a great big wave as she flies up to the ground. Well, what an array of aircraft we have had today. We've gone from the older Turbulence, Stomp, Tangamot, Chipmunks, Oster, Battle of Britain, Memorial Flight Spitfires, the Russian Spitfire, Otto the helicopter, the Scouts and the Bell 47 from the Army Historic Flight. Had the Catalina, the similarly sized B-17, which was great to see as she doesn't get many gigs, so it was fantastic that we had her there. We've had the elegant SF-260 and the Grog. We've had the power of the Typhoon. We've had the power of the Muscle Pits. Hopefully it's something there to entertain and amuse everyone. Which one was your favourite? Can you pick a favourite? Maybe a top three. A top three. You don't need to pick them in order, but maybe your top three. Have a chat amongst yourselves, see what you like. And then of course we've had all the radio controlled aircraft. The airfield attack scenario this morning. We've had the hot air balloon launches with one more to come at 7 o'clock tonight. Falcon